All right, I'm glad you're joining me for the Stability Ball Challenge with our hamstring curls. And the way this works is that for the number of the day of the month, so February 1, let's say, you're gonna do 1 hamstring curl on the ball. February 2, you're gonna do 2. February 3, you're gonna do 3. I know it doesn't sound like a lot at first in that first week, but after that, you're gonna catch right up and it's gonna feel like a lot, because guess what? There's 29 days, it's a leap year in February this year. So you will end up doing 29 of these all at one time. See me for your scoreboard or your score sheet. I have those available online and also at the studio. And I have some little heart stickers that you can mark your days off and mark your actual hamstring curls number off as well. So that'll be fun. Okay, so let me teach you a little bit about how to do the hamstring curls. So my preference is that you are really focusing on control on these hamstring curls. So I'm gonna lay on the back here. I'll show you the ideal of what I'm hoping that you will do, and then I'm gonna break it down into some tips on how to do this. So you're gonna start off with your ankles at the top of the ball. Rib cage is knitted down, abs are engaged. We're gonna turn on those abdominals, turn on that pelvic floor, and fire it up into a reverse plank. Okay, and then we drag those heels in towards your glutes, extend those legs all the way out, and then come down, hinging right here at that hip crease. So it's a lower. Okay, let me demonstrate that again one more time. Abs are engaged, my shoulders are soft, my neck is long, no pillow, no nothing underneath your head. As a matter of fact, this ponytail is not even ideal. And then we're gonna go up, draw it in, extend it out, and lower back down. Okay, now let me show you a couple of the variations that I often see that I'd like to kind of edge you away from. First of all, lifting those ribs up in the air, so kind of thrusting the ribs up in the air is one thing we want to avoid. Another thing that I see is that when the ball comes in, the hips go up in the air. So they're thrusting the hips up in the air. So let me show you ideal. Do you notice how I can keep my hands right here on my hips and they're not going anywhere? Versus whoosh, grabbing those hips and just thrusting them up in the air. Okay? Now that being said, I'd also like you to get this hinge down every single time. So you go up, in, out, and down, rather than staying up and counting 1, 2, 3, and so on, because there's less control when you're doing that. And honestly, as we get to those higher numbers, you're going to want to have a little time to tap down, and you can extend that out as long as you need to. Some other variations and things to keep in mind is that if this is a struggle as you are just beginning, here's some things that you can do. First of all, bring that ball closer to you. So this would be starting spot A, very low. Bring that ball close to those calves and just work on getting up into your shoulder bridge. So I'm hinging at my hip crease, engaging those abs, just coming up and down. Up and down. So count those as your numbers. And then as you start to get stronger, you can start to move that ball further away from your body. So the further away it is from your bum, it's going to be more intense, so increases that intensity. We raise it up and back down. Up and back down. So you can again count those as your hamstring curls. Right now they're just engagement of the hamstrings and glutes. And then when you're ready, you can start work on bringing those knees in and out. Really think about bringing the heels in and out. Okay, a couple of things to also note is that you will probably feel this on the top of your shins. So yes, you're going to feel your hamstrings and glutes. That's our primary goal here, is to strengthen those hamstrings, as most of us are underutilizing them by sitting all day. But you're also going to feel this activation here that you may not be used to. So don't be surprised if you feel some tightness and soreness in those shins. And you're like, oh, I'm using these guys. The other thing that I want to point out is that the first time you do these, you're very rarely going to be able to go straight in and straight out. More often than not, you'll come in and you'll have a little zigzag like this, or you'll kind of list over to one side when you do it. I just made a pretty dramatic one. You might not be nearly that dramatic, but keep this kind of thought in mind, is that if I'm coming up and the ball just tends to go over to my right side, that means my right side is more dominant, my left side is a little bit weaker. So I'm going to purposely try a little bit harder on my left side to try to balance that imbalance or that dominance of the right side out. Okay, so whatever side you're going to work harder on the opposite side to pull yourself back into alignment. Sometimes it helps to have your mat, your yoga mat or Pilates mat on the floor, and that will help you stay within a runway, and you'll know that if you're kind of zigzagging side to side, you're needing to kind of stabilize a little bit better. All right, so those are the guidelines. Remember, February 1, 1 hamstring curl, February 2, 2 hamstring curls, and maybe you do a mix of just the bridges and then the hamstring curls. Do you just make it happen, do your best, forget the rest, as Tony Horton would say, and enjoy me in strengthening those hamstrings in February.